Welcome to Many Worlds. This is a podcast with Dr. Kevin Henry Villanueva, the inaugural professorial fellow in ethics and international relations in the University of the Philippines.
If we fix our gaze on the game of order as well as on the rules of how order is played out on the stage of world politics, then our idea of what order means must be distinguished from the general sense in which it is used. To begin with, we must distinguish between world order and international order. In 1977, Hedley Bull, in his work, The Anarchical Society, wrote with great clarity, "World order is wider than international order, because to give an account of it, we have to deal notably with order among states, but also with order on a domestic or municipal scale, provided within particular states, and with order within the wider world political system, of which the state system is only part. World order is more fundamental and primordial than international order because the ultimate units of the great society of all mankind are not states, or nations, tribes, empires, classes, or parties, but individual human beings, which are permanent and indestructible in a sense in which groupings of them, of this or that sort, are not. This is the moment for international relations, but the question of world order arises whatever the political or social structure of the globe. World order finally is morally prior to international order. To take this view is to broach the question of the value of world order and its place in the hierarchy of human values. It is necessary to state at this point, however, that if any value attaches to order in world politics, it is order among all mankind, which we must treat as being of primary value, not order within the society of states. If international order does have value, this can only be because it is instrumental to the goal of order in human society as a whole." End of quote. Ordering is a subjective process. One cannot assume to undertake such an activity without assuming certain goals, that is, even if order itself is a goal. And one cannot undertake practical goals without assuming ultimately a certain vision of the world. This is because even the most mundane task, say of ordering a house, including the objects and affairs within it, serves a purpose. It is directed and designed toward survival at least. That would be its functional value and pleasure at best. Its aesthetic value, both of which are ends defined by the place in which the house would be located and the reason for which it would be built there in the first place. There is a meaning behind every practical activity. It is why the tasks and the affairs of building a house are arranged in a certain way, following a certain sequence, according to a variety of stages. There is, as it were, a plan, and our desire is its completion. However, we are looking at the ordering of a house, the structures of which are largely designed for inorganic and lifeless material. But what if the structures are animate and vital, such as, in the words of Bull, those patterns or dispositions of human activity that sustain the primary and elementary goals of social life among mankind as a whole? The object of study is the world, which is like a big garden in which living things are neither given to the innocence of paradise nor to the brutality of life in a jungle. All living things flourish. The splendor of a garden is how it evolves in the moment, according to the composition of the soil, the path of the sun, the direction of the wind, and the fall of the rain. Given these conditions of life, the mechanisms and processes through which its resources are exploited and shared are varied, in consonance with a changing and complex system. Life on Earth, as in a garden, is interdependent, and the patterns or dispositions of human activity that sustain goals of social life among mankind as a whole is governed by the togetherness of peoples. The moment of international relations is when we as individuals, we awaken as social beings who would be otherwise incapable of living alone. Interdependence is achieved through a general knowledge not only of the scarcity of the resources of the earth, but also of how every living entity has a nature. In the case of the global realm of politics, it is how groupings of human beings, and here I insist, how every people has a spirit or genius. It is how through our genius and spirit as peoples, we connect with each other. It is kinship. Kinship is how, as peoples, our roots are nourished and given time to grow. To this we shall next turn.
Thank you for listening to Many Worlds. If you would like to follow the podcast, please subscribe by clicking on the link.